Welcome to KM this time. Zach is out of town. Taco is nowhere to be seen, so it's just Kyle and Mike this week. With the beginning of the season for NBA, we decided to go and do our own power rankings right before the season starts. We got another about 12 minutes before the season starts. I'm not 100% certain we'll get done in time, but we'll go ahead and get right into Zach's power rankings for the NBA, starting with the Golden State Warriors, Boston Celtics, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Oklahoma City Thunder, Houston Rockets, the Minnesota Timberwolves, San Antonio Spurs, Washington Wizards, Toronto Raptors, Milwaukee Bucks, Indiana Pacers, we're quite biased, Los Angeles Clippers, Memphis Grizzlies, New Orleans Pelicans, Miami Heat, Portland Trailblazers, Detroit Pistons, Charlotte Hornets, Denver Nuggets, Philadelphia 76ers, Los Angeles Lakers, Dallas Mavericks, Sacramento Kings, Utah Jazz, Orlando Magic, Phoenix Suns, Atlanta Hawks, Chicago Bulls, New York Knicks, and the Brooklyn Nets. I text Zach about why he had the Atlanta Hawks so high, because I think you'll see in my rankings they're just so he had them so much higher, and I don't know why he had them so high. And then of course, like what I just said, Zach is very biased when it comes to his Pacers. Even Dad and I, who are also Mike and I are diehard fans of the Pacers, it just 11 of 30 teams. He has them just so high up there.
Yeah. He's got. They are going to be better than what people think, but number 11 is well within the playoff range.
Yeah,
because it's a 16 team, so
yep.
They're. Based on what Zach's thinking, they're going to make the playoffs.
Based on this, they are the fifth seed?
Fifth seed in the
East. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seed.
6 seed.
Because you got the Raptors, Bucks.
Oh, Raptors and Bucks. 6 seed.
Yep, 6 seed.
That'd be
awesome. Going from the 8th seed with Paul George to going to 6th seed without Paul George would be significant.
Yeah. If you can see, Zach's put the Timberwolves up there at number 6, which is a huge jump.
Yeah,
from what they were last year.
They had 30 wins last year? Less than that, I think. They had 29 wins.
29 wins, so.
And that's with Karl-Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. That's without Jimmy Butler, so he really is extremely high on them right now.
Yeah. So they. Yeah, number 6 is pretty impressive. Higher than the Spurs. That's a big jump. Hopefully they can do it. Yeah, that's good.
And I just like Zach, I have them in the playoffs. The Spurs in the playoffs, and Mike has them in the playoffs. 1 through 16 are your playoff teams,
right? But
yes, the Warriors are going to be in the playoffs no matter what.
Right.
Pretty much same with the Cavaliers. But those are the only 2 teams. Well, actually, not even the Cavaliers. If LeBron leaves, that's a team that won't.
That changes everything.
Any team that LeBron goes to, the Golden State Warriors, for now, who knows? It can implode at any time.
Yeah.
But the organization and the staff and just everything about the Spurs themselves, no matter what, they are going to make the playoffs. They always are going to make the playoffs. They've been like that for decades now.
Yeah,
since decades. David Robinson.
Yep. They're tremendous.
Yep. All the other teams on this list, you don't really see
that kind of
consistency.
No, not even close. Yeah, as you can see, the Chicago Bulls are 28th on Zach's list.
Yep.
This is a team that was a consistent playoff team.
Yep, for 2 years, like 10 years,
10
plus 10 years.
Yeah.
When Jordan until he retired, pretty much.
Yep. So they've had a big drop off. Atlanta Hawks have had a big drop off. Those 2 are the big Mavericks. That's a big drop off.
Mm-hmm.
The other teams are coming up though. Now you'll see some teams on here that are coming up.
Like, I mean, look at the 76ers. Zach
76ers, yeah. 20.
Not last year, but the year before, and for like 5 years, they got. I remember the year that Michael Carter Williams was a rookie with Nerlens Noel. They went 3-0, and everybody flipped out.
Yeah.
The first beginning of the season, 3-0. They're going to be like one of the better teams.
Then they lost like 20 in a row or something.
They lost like they ended up being 13 wins.
13 wins for the whole season.
The whole season.
So they only won 10 more games after the 3-0 start. So,
in 82 games, they won 10 more.
So them to move up to 20 in Zach's list, that's a good jump up.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Mike and I were looking at price tickets for the Chicago Bulls because Chicago's not far from Indiana. It really isn't. It's like a 9-hour drive. Because we're looking at price tickets because Tuesdays are half-price tickets for Pacers, and so we thought that'd be an excellent deal. The cheap was like $200.
Yeah.
And it was like $300 to $400.
Yeah, so there's still a very high price ticket no matter.
All because Michael Jordan. Because there's, like, Jimmy Butler has been good, but this is a year where they should be extremely cheap, like $90 to $200 at most.
At the most.
But it's instead $200 at least to $400.
Yeah.
$300, $400. It's just too expensive for a team that is. Well, Zach has him at 28. You'll see him.
See what we have.
Yeah. What we have. Right. Kind of surprised by Zach. I'm trying to look at teams. Kind of surprised by. Trying to really look at a surprise.
Well, he's got the Pelicans.
Yeah, lower than the Clippers, Grizzlies.
Yeah, I thought the Pelicans, they'd be a little bit... Well,
I think they should be 4 or 11, and at least the Pacers should be at 14. I think they should reverse that.
Yeah.
Because I think they're a lot better than what Zach made them out to be, because that's really... I mean, the two tall towers and Cousins and Davis.
Yeah, you're right.
But I can see why he had them there... Also, because, I mean, the pieces around those two.
That's all they have, no. And then it's the same way with the Trailblazers. They've got McCollum and Lillard, but their surrounding players aren't as great.
No,
so
they barely made the playoffs kind of thing.
Yeah. He's got the Pistons kind of high, 17. I don't know if the Pistons are going to be that good. Maybe not.
No. And I'm surprised that he didn't... Again, he doesn't really know... Like... You, Taco, and Zach really don't know Nikola Jokic. This is a guy that averages a triple-double for technically his rookie year, and he's just an animal. He's a really smart guy. He knows how to pass well. He's a good postman. He has a decent mid-range. He's a good overall player, and then adding Paul Millsap for defense, I think they're going to be a lot better than what Zach has him at 19.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and move on to my power rankings. I have the Golden State Warriors, Boston Celtics, Cleveland Cavaliers, Oklahoma City Thunder, Houston Rockets, Milwaukee Bucks, San Antonio Spurs, Minnesota Timberwolves, Washington Wizards, Denver Nuggets, Toronto Raptors, Portland Trailblazers, Charlotte Hornets, Miami Heat, New Orleans Pelicans, Dallas Mavericks, Los Angeles Clippers, Philadelphia 76ers, Orlando Magic, Indiana Pacers, Los Angeles Lakers, Detroit Pistons, Memphis Grizzlies, Sacramento Kings, Utah Jazz, Phoenix Suns, New York Knicks, Brooklyn Nets, Chicago Bulls, and the Atlanta Hawks at 30. That's how bad I think Atlanta's going to be, is that they're even worse than the Nets.
And the Bulls.
And then, by the way, these are based off of, on me, for when it comes to why I ranked them this way, is on paper, like, based off of, like, I think, I'm trying to look, Clippers on paper looks a lot better than anybody below them, is what I'm saying, is like, because they have two three veterans that they've been very good players in DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, and Gallinari. Those are veteran players that can help them lift up anybody else below them.
Right.
The 76ers are barely there. They're two positions away from being playoff contenders, but yet they're hurt all the time.
Yeah.
What's his name? Markelle Fultz, he's coming off. He's going to start coming off the bench at the beginning of the season because I guess he hurt his leg or something during the preseason, so they're going to have him come off the bench instead.
Right.
And then you got Embiid, who's hurt all the time.
Back. Yeah.
Yep. And then same with Ben Simmons. I mean, this is a hurt team. Yeah. Now, if they stay healthy all together, play throughout the whole season, I mean, they'll be right up there in the playoffs easily. I think they'll be better than the Hornets or the Heat. I mean, they're that good, I think. They could be.
I see where you have the Mavericks quite a bit higher than, well, maybe not quite a bit, but higher than, they're making the playoffs. You have the Mavericks making the playoffs. Higher than what Zach had.
Yep.
Miami Heat, you had them up higher.
Yep. I mean,
Charlotte Hornets, Trailblazers.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll talk about some of your top teams and tell us what you
think. Like what I said, with all the teams that I have that are in the playoffs, 16 through 1, are better on paper-wise than 17 through 30. Because, again, the Twin Towers and Pelicans, Hassan Whiteside is going to be a person that is going to make them go in the playoffs every year from here on out. They got Justice Winslow, who's a good player. Dion Waiters has always wanted to take his shot. Goran Dragic, they're a good team. I think they got an excellent player in the draft, that Bam Bam guy out of Bayo or something like that. Yeah. He's an excellent player.
He is a good player.
Hornets.
What do you think about the Hornets? Yeah.
I mean, Kemba Walker. They got Malik Monk.
Yeah.
Cody Zeller coming off the bench, maybe. Along with their starting five would be Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Marvin Williams, and Dwight Howard. I mean, they're so deep. They have also Malik Monk coming off the bench, possibly. Yeah. They got Nicholas Batum. They're really good off the bench. They're just deep. Same with the Trailblazers. They got Noah Vonleh coming off the bench. Right. They got Maurice Harkless. They're good again. Player-wise, they're deep. Same with, I like the Raptors just a little bit more because they have Norman Powell coming off the bench. I like Van Vliet coming off the bench. They have a decent bench compared to the Blazers I like more. So if I were to go back, I would actually maybe put the Blazers above them for now. Just because I'd like a couple more players on the Blazers bench versus the Raptors. Nuggets are just deep. They are like 1 through 12. They are deep. Gary Harris, Will Barton, Jamal Murray, Jameer Nelson. They're so deep that Jameer Nelson might start over Emmanuel Mudiay because he's not playing as well as what they're making him out to be.
That's true.
Washington Wizards, they're again deep. Like every team from pretty much after the 10 through 1 are extremely deep. They can go and switch out pieces. They can rotate, and they're going to be able to stay healthy throughout the year and not have to rest players as much compared to everybody else. So
what do you think about the Rockets being 5th? Behind, is it the other 4 teams are so good that the Rockets just couldn't break into the top 5, or are you just thinking maybe the CP3?
The only thing I would possibly think that could possibly, in my opinion, would switch out and maybe move Oklahoma City up 1, move the Rockets up 1, and move Cleveland back to the 5th
spot.
Just because, again, the Rockets are really deep. They got Eric Gordon's still at sixth man.
Man.
That's an excellent player for sixth man.
Six man, yeah.
Ryan Anderson hits the 3-pointers. Everybody's going to be shooting a lot of 3-pointers. Yeah. So they're going to be more consistent compared to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Right.
As to why I think if I were to go again back, I would switch. Just move them up 2 and then move Cleveland down to 5th. Because again, I think Oklahoma City should be in the top 5 because. I mean, Carmelo, Paul George, and Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook, yeah.
So,
the one team, I don't know if people notice, Milwaukee Bucks.
Yep.
That's a high spot for the Milwaukee Bucks.
Oh, significant.
Thinking very highly of them.
Yep.
What is it about them that...
Got him Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yeah. He is an MVP kind of guy that is going to carry them into a finals appearance in the next 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
I think LeBron will leave the Cavaliers. They're going to fall off the map.
Right.
And then it's either going to be the Wizards or the Bucks that are going to go into the finals.
That spot. And
go in, because LeBron, I think, is going to go to the Western Conference here in the next year or two. And then it's going to be either the Bucks or the Wizards. But I think the Bucks are going to... he's 22 years old.
Yeah.
He's gotten better every year, so.
It's pretty impressive. Yeah.
And I guess during the preseason, they played a different country's team, Spain or something like that, and Giannis, his range has been so awful is why they haven't really went very far into the playoffs, but he's actually gotten a lot better at the 3-pointers, so that's scary.
That'd be really scary. Yeah,
because again,
if he can hit,
hit that, there's nobody that can really stop him. His arms are so long, like a 7'4" reach.
Yeah.
I mean, the only person that can really stop him is Kevin Durant, and they're 2 different conferences.
And they don't play each other.
No. So that'd be an excellent matchup to watch.
Yeah. Durant versus Giannis.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
I see you got Boston number 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the second best depth for me because you got Marcus Smart, that Tony Rozier, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, coming off the bench kind of thing.
To take Kyrie's place.
Yep. Yeah. Kyrie's place, take over, get Gordon Hayward's place, Al Horford's place, Marcus Morris's place. I mean, that's a deep team.
It really is. Yep. That's tremendous. Well, that's good. That's good you picked. I like your picks.
I'm trying to look and see. But yeah, the Hawks are just...
Yeah.
Like what Zach and I talked about it, is that the reason why I might have also switched the Nets being 30th and the Hawks being 28th instead is that there's a guy named Taurean Prince who's only like 20 years old, and he is an excellent 3-point shooter and a decent defender, so he has a potential to be like Trevor Ariza, players that are known to go down quickly on the other court, shoot the 3-pointer, and then come back to defense. Kind of like Paul George. He has the potential to be like Paul George because he's just a good defender and be able to shoot the 3-pointer. So that is the reason why I might have maybe put them at 28th. But after Dennis Schroeder and Taurean Prince, I don't see anybody else really being that good compared to the Nets. I like the Nets. Again, their team overall, they got D'Angelo Russell. They got Jeremy Lin, Timothy Mozgov, Rondae Hollis Jefferson, Karis LeVert, Randy Foye. Trying to think of... Sean Kilpatrick. He's a excellent shooting guard. He scored 28 points in their last game. They ended up winning their last game. They were their 20th game or something like that.
Okay.
He's an excellent shooting guard, so that's why I like them a lot better than the Hawks.
Yeah. Huh.
Okay. Moving on to Mike's rankings. We got the Golden State Warriors. Ooh, this is green. Ooh. It's like a mint green. Golden State Warriors, Houston Rockets, Boston Celtics, Cleveland Cavaliers, Oklahoma City Thunder, San Antonio Spurs, Washington Wizards, Minnesota Timberwolves, Toronto Raptors, Milwaukee Bucks, Denver Nuggets, Portland Trailblazers, Utah Jazz, Los Angeles Clippers, New Orleans Pelicans, Memphis Grizzlies, Philadelphia 76ers, Indiana Pacers, Dallas Mavericks, Miami Heat, Charlotte Hornets, Detroit Pistons, Los Angeles Lakers, Sacramento Kings, Orlando Magic, Phoenix Suns, Atlanta Hawks, New York Knicks, Brooklyn Nets, and the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah. I've got the Houston Rockets up higher than what you guys have. I think with CP3 coming to the team, they're going to push the ball off the court. They're going to shoot even more than they shot last year.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
And CP3 getting the passes to Harden and to Clint, what's his name?
Clint Capella.
They're going to run. And it's going to be Lob City to a few players.
Yep.
So it's the top 5. Well, actually, top 6 are pretty much. I'd like to say they're interchangeable. Maybe the Warriors probably should be a solid number 1, but the other next 5 are pretty much interchangeable.
Yep.
They're all going to have good records. See, I think a lot of it's got to do with how much they're going to rest some players and how hard LeBron's going to go for the top seed and stuff like that. I don't know if he's going to try that hard as long as he makes the playoffs. So
Yep. That's
the rankings will probably they'll be lower because they probably won't win as many games.
No,
but they'll make the playoffs, and that's all that matters to him. And then they'll go crazy in the playoffs.
Yep.
Maybe my surprise one, and I didn't think enough about this. I put the Wizards higher than the Timberwolves. I think I may have made a mistake on that one. I think the Timberwolves might be better. Will probably be better than the Wizards.
Wow. Okay.
Wizards. It's John Wall's tremendous. Beal's overrated. We've talked about that before.
Yep.
And they've got a pretty solid team, but I think the Timberwolves are so darn athletic.
Oh, very athletic.
They're just gonna be. They'll probably be a little bit higher than the Wizards.
Yep.
Raptors. I'm maybe higher on them than I should be too. They've got 2 real good players, DeRozan and Lowry.
And then Dallas Schunas is an excellent
rebounder. So
and Serge Ibaka's a decent 3-point shooter. He doesn't play as much, like what I talked about in previous videos during the contract one. Is that Ibaka used to be all defense. Yeah. He did like almost 3 blocks a game.
Yeah.
He played defense. He didn't do shooting. He shot. He dunked and he did a little bit of mid-range, but he wasn't known as a shooter. And then his game has evolved into today's game where he just shoots a 3-pointer, plays a little bit of defense here and there, but mainly just goes down and shoots.
He's an offensive player.
Yep.
Yeah. And I've got the Nuggets higher than these other guys do. Kyle had some good points on the Nuggets. Jokic is. I read really good things about him, so I like them a lot. Bucks,
Paul Millsap, yep.
Bucks are only 10th on my list, but Giannis is tremendous. Utah Jazz is probably higher than I think both of you guys.
That's significantly higher.
Gobert.
Gobert is an excellent player. Derek Favors is a decent player.
For the Western Conference, maybe I have him a little high because that's
Ricky Rubio's not a bad passer and defender. I mean, I can see why you have him up there because again, Gobert is a decent player overall, and he might just help them get into the playoffs. So
I think CP3 really, with him leaving, really hurt the Clippers. Obviously, because they're down to 14.
Yep.
Pelicans, they got the 2 great centers. They're 2 great big men. Mm-hmm. Grizzlies are 16th, which I
think I had them at a lower ranking than that.
23rd.
Oh, 23rd, and Zach had them. Sorry about the seizure here, guys. Where do you have them at?
13th.
Oh, 13th. So both of you had them in the playoffs, and I don't.
Right. I barely have them making the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Conley and Gasol. But after that, it drops off quite a bit. So that may be shaky. 76ers are going to be much, much improved.
Oh, yeah.
especially if they all stay healthy.
Healthy, yep.
Pacers are right outside the playoffs, which they could make it.
They could.
They could make it.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Kyle and I are pretty high on them. They're looking a lot better than they did last year. I mean, not a lot better. They're looking
overall better.
Yeah.
There's a difference between being better and then overall better. We got deeper because now Lance Stevenson and Sabonis are just clicking together. They're best of buds now.
Right.
And they're great bench players that come off the bench that Lance likes to pass the ball quickly. Right to Sabonis, and Sabonis just plays it in all the time.
Our second team, will be
our unit is so much better because of that trade.
I think we'll play more as a team this year instead of maybe Paul George.
Paul George getting the ball.
Shooting. All the
time. Like what we talked about, not on recording, but the three of us had talked about is that we, like what you just mentioned, is that Paul George would come down, shoot the ball. He might pass it to another player, but then that person would have to shoot the ball.
Right. It was very limited.
Very limited passing. During the once preseason game that I watched, they passed it at least once to each other, during their one possession. And then eventually they passed it at least like two more times to one more player, and they just shot it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're willing to pass the ball. That's going to be key.
They're sharing the ball.
And it feels like they're running and gunning now. They're a lot faster this year, it seems like.
Younger.
Yep.
Faster.
Yep.
TJ Lee.
TJ Lee is very fast.
They got their big men are fast.
Yep.
Al Jefferson's the only one and he's lost weight.
He's lost weight, and he might be a little bit faster.
So he'll be a little bit faster. Yep. I think they're going to have fun this year.
Yep, they're going to have fun.
It's going to be a fun
season. And I think, I would hope for their sake that they will allow, because the last person that is on the roster now that's probably you got Collison who just signed.
Right.
But the next person that is in the starting five that is older is Thaddeus Young.
Right.
Let him go play with another team that's a contender. Let him be able to be a good player for them, get some picks out of it, maybe a decent player, and let us be able to develop some more out of it.
Sure.
Because I like to see Thaddeus go to a team that is going to be a contender for playoffs.
You got it. Let's see. I've got no really surprise at the bottom. I mean,
what did I put the Magic at? Oh, I put them at 19. You put them at 25th.
Yeah, which is pretty low.
That's pretty low. I like their depth. They're really good depth. And then you got, of course, Vogel.
Yeah, who's their top draft pick?
Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah,
he's a freak athlete. He's kind of like what's his name? Josh Jackson for the Suns.
Right.
He's not the best shooter in the draft, but he's just like Taurean Prince, where not 3-and-D, but they're just the defense for now, but then they can develop their game later on. They're very athletic, kind of like Joe Green, and like what you had talked about before. You can't teach height or athleticism, but you can teach to be able to shoot the ball, and you can teach them other things.
How to play defense.
Play defense, certain skills and stuff like that.
So I probably have them a little too low there, 25, because Vogel is a good coach. He probably have them higher than the Pistons. Maybe even the Hornets. You may get them up in the top 20.
Yeah.
So we'll see. My bottom teams, Knicks, Nets, and Bulls are all interchangeable. They all could end up with just 20 wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Bulls, in fact, I don't know if Kyle read this tonight or not.
I did.
The Mirotic got hit by Bobby Portis.
Bobby Portis, one of my favorite players.
Broke his jaw or something.
Broke two jawbones.
Yeah. So they're already having problems in Chicago with they're fighting already. Their own teammates. So that's not a good sign.
In practice.
So Mirotic is out for a while, so they're off to a really rough start. Then let's see here. Mavericks are a team that they're 19. They're just getting kind of.
They're young.
Yeah, they've got old though. They've got Nowitzki, and he's getting kind of up there now.
Yeah.
But other than that, they're young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're going to have to go and learn from each other again.
They're not ready yet.
Because then you got Yogi Ferrell, Dennis Smith Jr., Seth Curry. You got Nerlens Noel, Dwight Powell. I mean, they're going to be a decent young group, but nothing
Take a
that
while
is
for
going to
them
make them
work together.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my lineup. Power
Okay.
rankings.
Power rankings, cool.
But it could change. We'll probably We'll probably do more power rankings.
I'm trying to think like every 2 weeks. That way, there's twice a month that we go and do a power ranking kind of thing.
Yeah, because we'll know a lot more by then how.
Because going once a week, you're not really going to see much.
There's not enough games.
Not enough games in a week.
And plus injuries will happen too. So.
Yep, 82 games per team, and that's a lot of games.
And like I said, the Cavaliers, depending on how LeBron wants to play, they may not have as great a season. Because he knows only the Celtics are their main. Celtics and Wizards. There's two teams that he doesn't want to drop too low on the seeding, but he wants to. As long as he makes the playoffs, I think he's fine. So they may drop because I don't know how much he'll sit out a few more games than normal.
It's going to be interesting how they're going to amplify the rule where you can't rush your players anymore. I'm kind of curious how that's going to work.
About how they
find out or something.
There's how many players they can rest, or is it just because I'm sure they can rest one player at a time? But
probably one rest a player at a time. It might be where
I don't know how they.
You can only rest like twice a month or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe. So there's probably some type of implications where if you do so much resting or you rest a player, well, maybe if you rest a player when you're going away, like if LeBron has to go all to the West Coast, he rests 2 of the 4 games on the West Coast. They might get fined then, kind of thing. Maybe I don't know though.
With fines, though. I think they're starting off.
Oh yeah, they're doing $500K for. Resting, and that's a good chunk of money.
Yeah, the owners won't want that to happen. So
no, because they already do. I mean, Cavaliers are by far the most luxury tax team.
I don't think
they're spending like an extra $1 million per luxury cap hit, and I think they're spending like $10 million just on that. Yeah, so they can't be spending much more. Yeah,
they won't get fined. So.
No.
Yep. So that's my power rankings.
I'm just looking to see a little bit more.
Anything else, that you see on there that gets your attention? The Lakers are 23rd. What do you have them at?
21.
21, and what does Zach have them at? 21. Okay, so we're all pretty close.
So decently close. Yep.
Yeah, they're kind of an unknown team right now.
Yeah.
He's a rookie. Lonzo Ball's a rookie. We're not sure. Larry Nance is going to play. They're going to have some good players.
Larry Nance, Cartelis, Caldwell Pope, Brandon Ingram, Julius Randle, Brooke Lopez.
Yeah, they may be better, especially if Lonzo starts hitting it with all
Kyle
those guys.
Kuzma.
Yeah, Kuzma's supposed to be really good.
Yep.
So, depending on how they all click together.
They all click together, and they might purposely tank again so they can be able to get their brother, the LaMelo or something like that.
Yeah, LaMelo Ball.
Yeah, he's going to be... Is he UCLA this year?
He's going to sit out. Remember, the father decided to have him sit out because of...
that's right.
He got the shoe deal.
Yep, the shoe deal. Yep. Okay, so, I mean, again, that's...
Yeah.
A thing where they might...
try to get another draft pick, or they're going to go all out and try... They'll probably try to win.
They're probably trying to win.
LeVar said that they'll make the playoffs this year.
It's weird that they said they're going to make the playoffs, but yet they're going to get all 3 brothers.
Yeah.
If you're going to start going out into the playoffs now, you can't really get all 3
you won't
of
get all your players,
sibling or the kids in there.
The higher up you are, the less draft picks you get. I mean, the lower you are in the drafts.
Yep.
You don't get very many great players. So, it should be interesting. So, it should be a pretty interesting season.
Yeah, very interesting season. But that's our 3 rankings from now. Probably in 2 more weeks we'll go and
do a new one.
Do another one, and we might do an additional video of some sort. I don't know what exactly of yet. Maybe trade, not trades, but we'll just take a look, see what we go from there.
Yeah, this will be fun.
This is going to be a lot of fun. I love basketball time of year. Tired of this football thing. So, with that being said, guys, we're going to end this video.